Where we present the best illusions on TV, DVR, TiVo, or downloaded to any phone, Android, laptop, tablet, any device recognized by Siri, Alexa, or Al Gore. And streamed onto Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat, Reddit, Friendster, Napster, and the 6 people who still have Google Glass. So now let's bring out the 2 guys who have been together longer than the internet has been a thing, Penn and Teller! Not only get to perform in their long-running Vegas spectacular, they also win the highly coveted and rarely seen on eBay item, the Penn and Teller Fool Us Trophy. Let's take a look at our first contender.
I'm Sean Paul.
I'm Juliana Faye.
A long time ago, I placed an ad looking for a magician's assistant that had dancing background and didn't mind getting cut in half.
So I answered the ad and I said I had ballroom dance experience.
And we got married in 2001. We do a show in Eureka Springs,
Arkansas.
It's actually a really unique town. It's very artistic. It's Victorian.
It's haunted, complete with a really cool haunted hotel. We delve into one mystery after another, from voodoo, past life regressions, walking through walls.
They know it's a show, but they actually leave wondering if it's real.
Tonight, what we'd like to do is a little bit of a departure and show Penn and Teller something it's safe to say they've never seen before.
Give it up for Sean Paul and Juliana.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'm fascinated and have a passion for all things intriguing, right down to our selection of pets. Now, don't get me wrong, dogs and cats are wonderful, but 15 years ago, my wife and I adopted Frankie. Frankie, let's show them how things work here. We're like a little family here. You're our baby, aren't you? That's right. Pretty lady next to you, that's my wife, and she's your mama. Yep. And I'm your daddy. All right, let's take this from the top. I am your daddy, and I'm also a very famous magician. Okay. That's funny. Do not reward that answer. Don't give him a treat for that, all right? You know, maybe I'm not famous, but guess what? I make a lot of money. I make tons of money. All right, well, let's just change things up here. I want to talk to you about the infinity theorem, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you've heard of it. This is a World War II era typewriter, and this is a monkey. And scholars will tell you that if you give a monkey a typewriter and an infinite amount of time, they will eventually give you the complete works of Shakespeare. Let's take a look here. To pee or not to pee. Close enough, ladies and gentlemen. He's a monkey. He doesn't do great with words. He doesn't do great with words. He does really good with numbers, especially number 2. But let's start over. Let's get a new piece of paper for the typewriter. Allison, could we beg your assistance here? We've got a pad of paper here. Would you notarize both sides of a piece of paper there for us? Just put your initials, top and bottom. All right.
Each. And there.
Yeah, right there. Good. And then sign the back, if you would.
Sure.
Great. Juliana Faye will now place that piece of paper that she has notarized into Frankie's typewriter. Now, at this point, friends, we're going to see if he can read some minds collectively throughout the audience. I want everybody here in the room to think of a 3-digit number. In a moment, if Juliana Faye comes to you, I want you to write the 3-digit number that you're thinking of on this pad of paper next to one of the X's. When she's finished, she will then take the paperwork over to Mr. Penn and Teller for the next step. But in the meantime, we're going to entertain you while we're waiting for that. Because I don't just do magic. I'm also a very talented vocalist. I have have a great voice, and Frankie loves to listen to me sing. Yes, you do. Frankie, hear me out. I'm going to sing a song. That's not funny. I'm the boss. You show me some respect. That is... Frankie, look at me. Look at me. I am talking to you. Look at me. That's right. You know, it's hard to be angry with him when he's this cute. You wouldn't believe what it's like to live with a monkey, all right? You just... Hey, give that back. Frankie, give that back. I have no idea where that came from. Oh, I'm good. Hang on, he's not done yet. All right. Yeah, Frankie, give it to me. Friends in the flask, it's just water. Tell him, it's just water. Frankie, if that was the real thing, you know how you'd feel right now? Okay. All right, well, how are we doing here? Mr. Penn, do you have the numbers?
We do, yes.
Did you get a chance to tabulate them?
I will right now.
Okay, great. If you would do that, because let's recap. She just gathered 3-digit numbers from 3 different places in the audience. We're bringing it to Mr. Penn. He is tabulating them. Then they have what's basically a collective thought from 3 different people in the audience. They will then think of that number. And Frankie, the mind-reading monkey, will read their mind. That would be a pretty good trick, wouldn't it? Are you ready, Frankie? All right. Would you mind writing that number big and bold on that piece of paper?
I sure will.
While you do that, I'm going to bring Frankie up to speed on what we're doing here. Frankie, you know who these guys are? That's right. We've got Penn and Teller here. Which one is Penn? Is he the big one? Is he the tall one? That's right. And Teller? That's right. He doesn't speak. Yes. Mr. Teller, have you written that number down? Please hold it to your chest. Don't let anybody see it. Think about that number, because in a moment, you're going to look up here. You're going to make eye contact with the monkey. He's going to read your mind, that number that you're thinking of right now. But you're going to have to get his attention. Wave to him. Say, hi, Frankie.
Hi, Frankie. How you doing?
Okay, do you see Penn? Yes, good. Make eye contact with him, Frankie. Look at him, all right? You're going to read his mind. Brilliant man. Lots going on in that mind of his. Frankie! Okay, look in his mind one more time. Do you have the number? He's got the number. All right, let's try it out. Here. Give us the number. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah? Okay, good enough. Over here. Could I call upon you again? Allison, I'm just going to roll this over to you. I want you to remove that card.
Okay.
And verify that it is the same piece of paper that you notarized when we got started. It's your piece of paper, yes?
Yes.
Okay, just answer me this. Did he type a number on there?
He did.
So, it'd be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? If he was able to peer into his mind, get that thought, which was a collection of 3 thoughts in mind, right? Okay. Let me just ask you this. Is it 3 digits or 4?
4.
4 digits. Mr. Penn, the number you've got, is it 3 digits or 4?
It's 4 digits.
I think he's got the number. Frankie, do you have his number? I thought you were going to read his mind. You just typed down a number over here. Where did that number come from? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go for broke. In a nice, loud voice, real slow, I want you to read off the number that he typed, and then at that point, you're a showman. Show us the number. If you would, Allison.
All right. 2, 1, 7, 5.
There it is right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie,
7, 5.
That was fantastic.
Thank you very much.
How did you guys come to have a monkey?
Well, we wanted to add something special to the show. We had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. Did we have any idea, Frankie, what we were doing? No, we didn't.
And I heard you also used to work with a tiger?
We have in the past worked with tigers, and I think this is a lot more challenging.
Really?
And a lot more entertaining. What do you think?
Ready to find out what they think?
I love monkeys.
I heard that.
I'm very fond of monkeys. And one of my favorite ideas is that infinity theory of monkeys typing Shakespeare. I just love that so much.
We came up with this segment just for you guys.
Well, you sure did. And it's really wonderful. And a very, very marvelously trained monkey. Because the thing that's really great about monkeys, although those of us who don't own them really enjoy them, we know that they're hateful and miserable to be around. So we're very much enjoying the pain you go through to give us a cute little monkey that is a monster in your home. We can see through that right away. Trick is really good. You know, if you had, it was a 2 2175. If it had been, 2173, you would have had to add a number. But you made 2175 right there, which is a great way to get that. And we also think, sometimes the simplest things can really be the absolute key to a magic trick. It can be a little piece of tape. It can be a little piece of gum or wax. Could even be a rubber band.
Sure.
That could hold that whole thing. Piece of elastic up your sleeve. All sorts of things. And one of those things I think you use there to get those add a number up. Right there.
Did they fool him? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Juliana. More remarkable magic coming your way, including a trick from Penn and Teller. Stay close. Welcome back to Fool Us. Let's meet our next magician.
I am originally from Las Vegas, and I am a full-time illusionist magician. I won the World Championship of Magic in 2010. I do the big illusions, I do the sleight of hand, I do the comedy magic, audience interaction, but the stuff that I'm doing now, it's a little more focused on the danger side of things. Recently, I started rock climbing. I think I enjoy it so much because similar to magic, it's constant problem solving. Once I'm up there, it gets real and the adrenaline kicks in. I'm headed more in the direction of trying to produce a little more adrenaline, a little more dangerous, just creating that experience.
Please welcome the thrill-seeking magic of Jason Andrews.
Tonight, I put mind over matter. Let's get started. That's not the trick. This is a glass bottle, though. This is a real glass bottle. And Penn, I understand that you are somewhat of an expert in broken glass bottles.
I've juggled a few of them, yeah.
A few of them, once or twice. Would you mind lending your expertise on stage? Penn and his glass expertise, everyone. Thank you very much. Thanks, Penn. All I'd like you to do is check that out. Make sure that it's real glass. Make sure it's not gimmicked in any way. It's just a glass bottle. Sounds real?
Seems like a real bottle.
Seems real. Okay, hang on to that. Hang on to the hammer as well. In just a moment, we're going to break the glass bottle with the hammer.
Okay.
I don't want glass to go everywhere, though, so we're going to put it inside the paper bag here. I'd hate for someone to slice their feet open on the stage. So we'll put it inside the bag here. And you can feel that the bottle is there, so you know where to aim.
I can.
Right there. On the count of 3, swing the hammer. We just want to break the end off.
Okay, sure.
Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, very nice. I'll take the hammer back. I'll shake your hand. Thank you very much, Penn.
I'm dismissed.
Y'all all dismissed. Let's take a look, see how we did. One broken bottle, perfect for our test of mind over matter. But one bottle would be way too easy. I don't have just one bottle, I have 12. 12 shattered, jagged glass bottles that I'm going to walk straight through from back to front in just a moment. Now, you'll be able to see the necks of the bottles the entire time. You'll be able to see all the way around the cabinet the entire time. And you'll be able to see the illusion live from my point of view, because I'll be holding this camera the whole time. Don't look away. But that's the easy part. The difficult part is getting to the cabinet, because the path to the cabinet will be filled with 100 more broken glass bottles. Now the challenge is walking on the glass barefoot. You can see there is absolutely nothing on the bottoms of my feet. There's no sort of barrier, no sort of protective film, absolutely nothing between my bare skin and the broken glass, nothing except my mind. Here we go. Mind over matter.
Jason Andrews! Woo. Oh, I see you.
You too.
You all right? Oh, God. Oh. That's gross.
Sometimes I don't pass all the way through. Sometimes I get stuck. Souvenir?
No, thanks.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even like stepping on a splinter.
Yeah.
Oh,
little
you're
bit of blood.
bleeding? Oh, that's lovely.
That's something you accept when you learn to do it.
Yeah,
so.
see, you know, I see things like that, and I'm just fine not being a magician.
I mean, it took about 2 months, of doing it every day just to kind of get used to it. And there were a lot of cuts and a lot of Band-Aids.
And how long did it take you to not cuss while you were doing it?
I still have to control myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see if Penn and Teller enjoyed your act.
See it.
All right. Penn, Teller.
Okay, let's go. Really good. I love the idea of adding the camera.
Thank you.
The camera's a really nice thing to give you the other side illusion because it lets us see things without seeing things.
Right.
It's very, very nice how much that conceals as well as how much it shows. You always take a danger when you bring a magician up to do something. They might see something that you don't want them to see,
right.
which I did, but the audience didn't. That
Okay.
was great for them.
Okay.
I've also happened to be carny trash, as you know, so I'm very familiar with the glass walk. And I should tell people that it really is real glass, and you really can get hurt. So
Absolutely.
don't do it. But I have, so I know a little bit about that. And I also got to say, this is the kind of act, after you have all the card tricks and all the little coin tricks and all the other stuff we do, this kind of big act with the danger that gets the heart beating, this is the kind of thing that makes those Nielsen ratings go really through the roof.
Yeah.
But I did see something when I broke the bottle, and I do know the glass walk, and I think I gave you another little hint somewhere in there. I think we have a pretty good idea how you did it. Love the addition of the GoPro.
I think you know. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Jason Andrews. More can't miss magic on the way. Stick around. known as Fool Us. Let's meet our next magician.
My name is Eric Mead. I'm a magician from Aspen, Colorado. Magician is professionally what I call myself, but my real job is family man. When you have a child, seeing through their eyes makes everything fresh and great again. There are many ways to try to fool Penn Teller. I'm going to perform what's considered to be a classic piece of magic, but the interpretation of it and this particular version of it is very different. And I know for a fact that Penn Teller will understand the main principle of the trick. But along the way, there's at least one and maybe three moments that will fool them. I've written my script in a way that if they're even fooled a little bit, they're gonna have to give it to me.
Please welcome Eric Mead.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. It's probably just a coincidence that the man who first told me the 90-10 rule of magic works behind the scenes on this very program. It was the great Thompsoni himself who explained to me that if a magician shows somebody a trick and 90% of that trick fools them, but there's a little 10% sliver over here that does not fool them, the average person will say that the trick did not fool them, even though they can't explain 90% of it. Contrary-wise, if that same magician shows that same trick to his fellow conjurers, it only takes that 10% sliver for them to admit that they were fooled. I don't know if it's true or not, but I want to put it to the test tonight by doing something I think unprecedented. I'm going to explain in advance how most of the trick you're about to see works. First of all, gentlemen, you can take notes if you want to. First of all, there's a principle at the center of this trick that you will certainly recognize. It's at least 400 years old, probably much older. And you yourselves have used versions of it on this very stage, so I'm sure that you'll recognize what that is immediately. Secondly, you will see some sleight of hand, and I know that you know what sleight of hand looks like, so I concede all of that. There will be a little bit, just a little bit, of verbal misdirection, which may or may not have already begun. And finally, actually, that's it. That is, truthfully, honestly, at least 90% of what you're about to see. I'm not interested in that 90%, nor should you be. I'm only interested in the little remaining 10%, the part where you and you get reminded of what it's like to see magic. And to do that, you need to be close. Would you please come up here and join me on the stage? Welcome.
Oh, man.
Good to see you. So the composition by John Ramsey, the particular arrangement I'm going to play for you today is by a dear departed and much missed Tim Conover. This is a classic called The Cylinder and Coins. I have some unusual props, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But for you, the important props are these 4 silver dollars. This is a drink coaster. Tonight it's going to act as a little stage, like a little raised platform. This is where all of the important action will take place. And the little piece of cork sits out there on the stage. The cork is just the end of a wine cork that I shaved off with a knife, just a little piece of cork. It will play the role of the MacGuffin, if you're familiar with that term, and be hidden inside the little cylinder. Oh, and the cylinder, I should tell you, is just a little strap. You can take that off of there. It's a little strap of leather that's had its ends stitched together. It's hollow. You can completely see through it. Penn, if you want to check it out, you're welcome to.
I'll trust Teller on this one.
And I'll let you see down through there, okay? So the important thing about the cylinder is that there's no top or bottom, so anything dropped inside will pass right through. And as I said, the cork goes inside the cylinder, and we're ready to begin. This would be the time if you want to pay really close attention. 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. The idea, very simply, one by one, I'm going to take these coins and I'm going to make them disappear, each in a different way. The first one, the wand passes through my hand like this, and that coin sort of melts from my hand and appears down inside the cylinder, even though you're staring at the cylinder and it's right out in the open. 3 coins left behind. 1, 2, 3. Nothing else in my hands. That's number 1, that's number 2, and that third one Wait, there it goes. That third one, just a little like that. It disappears completely. Now, you're very polite. A lot of times when I do this for non-magicians, they'll grab hold of my wrist at this point and start looking at my skin to see if there's a slit or a pocket or something. There's not, but I can make it look like I have, like if I make a little fake incision right here in the back and I push down, that coin goes right through to the inside. Or I could push it down inside and then touch it with the magic wand and it instantly disappears down inside the little cylinder. That leaves just this one, the last, the final coin. And we'll do it like this, from my left hand over, actually since the last one, let's do it right-handed, long distance. From the tip of the wand, it goes like this across the table, and it disappears down inside the little cylinder. And just so you have something interesting to talk about when you go back over there, I could not have dropped them in because they are resting underneath that little piece of cork. Thank you very much. I feel like I'm running out of time here. Thank you very much. So I want to do this last part very quickly. We'll do the whole thing in reverse. The little piece of cork goes in my hand, the coins inside the cylinder. Did I say coins? The coins, I'll leave them sticking out there, right? The little piece of cork is in my hand, the coins, to the last second you see them inside the cylinder, and then we travel back in time to where one of those coins was right here at my fingertips. That's coin number 1. A second coin out there in the air, that's number 2. Don't blink, that's number 3. 3 coins from nowhere. Of course, we didn't start with 3, we started with 4. That's that 4th coin. The little piece of cork instantly disappears, and don't even try to pretend that didn't fool you. And right over here, inside, the little piece of cork that has no bottom, no top. And that is what magic should look like. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's fun.
Okay, yeah, my mind is blown, clearly.
Good.
And do that.
They are now working very hard on talking about what happened there.
You just have big cojones to do it that close in front of those guys.
How kind of you to notice, I guess.
Because, to do it right with them sitting right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, close-up magic should be up close.
So do you think that there's a chance you fooled them?
I think it's unlikely that they're going to say they were fooled, and here's why. Everything that I said up front is true. They recognize the main body of the trick. They know that there's sleight of hand, and they could just say that, and I would have to concede that that's correct. So the question is, would they... The question is, where do they draw the line? If I'm certain there are a couple of beats along the way that were puzzling or mystifying to them. Is that enough to say that they were fooled? I don't know. I doubt it. But we're about to find out, I think.
I don't know. I like just watching them squirm.
Eric, you chose to do something really, really difficult, which is coin magic in front of us. There are certain principles in coin magic we just know. And there's certain things that we did say. Probably the most brilliant thing you did was to do an introduction where you changed the rules of the game on us. You changed it from having a pretty good idea how it was done overall to this 10% thing, which has nothing to do with Fool Us. It's totally what you pushed on us. But part of the magic thing is game theory. And you played the game theory perfectly. And then you threw it in our laps and said, you decide whether I fooled you or not. So yeah, we know coin magic. Yeah, we know you, Eric, but it is in our laps and...
Thank you very much.
Well, Eric Mead, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
OMG, P&T just got FD'd. Fooled. We'll be RB after this. Welcome back to Fool Us. Penn and Teller look like they've recovered from our last fooler, and they're ready for more. Let's meet our next magician.
Hi, my name is Reza. I grew up in South Dakota, so where most kids were farming and playing sports and hunting at a young age, I took on magic. The magic I do, I want to make more relatable and not perform magic with all the cliche items like rabbits out of hats and sparkly boxes, but instead use things like power tools and spray paint and just bring a really cutting-edge feel to the magic. A lot of the magic that I perform is on a grand scale with motorcycles and helicopters. I definitely want to take the energy of a concert or a nightclub and bring it to a performance stage. But tonight for Penn Teller, I'm taking all those large elements and I'm stripping them away, bringing magic back to its core, a very simple illusion. And hopefully, I'll be able to do it in such a way that fools Penn Teller.
All right, let's raise the roof for Reza.
I love it. Tonight, I hope to show you a miracle. In order to do it, I need some help. Allison, would you join me? Cool, give it up for Allison, everybody.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. You probably noticed, Allison, we have something behind us here. Do you know what that is?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's paper.
More specifically, it's a giant piece of toilet paper.
Oh.
Okay, no, that's cool. We're gonna use it for a little art project. Allison, I need something from you. A playing card. Any card for a pack of cards, but we're gonna do it in an interesting way. Rather than just to have you select a card in a way that I could somehow manipulate, I would like you just to name a card just at random.
Ace of Hearts.
Ace of Hearts?
Yes.
Okay, deal. I don't wanna forget it, so we're gonna record it over here on the paper. An ace and a heart. Just like that. Fair?
Sure.
The details. Now let's make this a little bit more interesting. Penn, would you also name any card at random, different than Allison's? Anything at all?
6 of diamonds.
The 6 of diamonds. Okay, cool. And Teller, in any way you'd like, would you give me a card as well? 8 of hearts. Correct? We'll do a 6. 6 of diamonds. And that was the 8 of hearts, correct? All right. 8 of hearts. Excellent. So 3 cards completely at random. I'm just curious, Allison, is there any reason why you chose the Ace of Hearts?
Just because I like aces and I like hearts.
The reason I ask you, though, is because before the show, I made a prediction that you would choose the Ace of Hearts. Do you believe me?
Sure.
No one has ever said yes before, but that's good. She believes me. Here, come on over. And I really did. I made a prediction, though, in an unusual way. Let me show you. I wrote a number, actually on a box of playing cards. Make sure this is fair. And you can see there really is a number on the box, correct? In fact, I'll show it to everybody. It's the number 14. And I believe that there's significance to this number. Come on over. I want you to actually deal 14 cards, face up, one at a time on the table, just like this. I'll give you the cards, I'll give you some space to work with, and one at a time, 14 cards. Go ahead.
Face up?
Yeah. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Stop right there. If the next card, Allison, is your card, the Ace of Hearts, would you freak out?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So would I. That would be amazing. It'd be a miracle.
Yeah.
Allison, take the next card. Turn it over. Show it to everyone. In fact, hold it up. The Ace
That's crazy.
of Hearts.
That's really crazy.
I tell you what, actually, you keep your card.
Thanks.
I'll trade you for the rest.
Okay.
Let's try one more thing, just for fun. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. This time, I'm gonna riffle through the cards, like this, right? As I do, I want you to take your card. I want you to toss it inside the pack, anywhere you want, anywhere at random.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Any place, go for it. Right there. And push it in anywhere you want to. So that's fair, everything fair. You just randomly separated 2 cards from inside the pack, right there. The Ace of Hearts landed directly in between the 6 of Diamonds and the 8 of Hearts.
This is something you came up just for this show?
Yeah, I invented the method for this actually a long time ago, but I didn't have the trick to go along with it. So I kind of reverse engineered it. I took that method and I kind of built the trick for the show, and hopefully to fool Penn Teller, but if not, just to at least entertain them.
So do any of your tricks ever go horribly wrong?
One of my first shows, I thought it would be a good idea to put some money on the line if the trick failed. So I had a big lock box. I filled it with all the money I had, all the cash. I put a lock on it, and then I had 5 keys. I told the audience that 1 key would be for me, they would choose it, the rest would be for the audience members. And if someone got the right key, they would take all my money. First key unlocked it, and that sucked. From then on, no more money. I do magic with spray paint, cards, things like that.
Oh, yeah, well, you know what? Lesson learned. Yeah. Oh, I think we might have a decision. Boys?
It's a really good trick. It's a really good trick. And you've done a little bit of making a card trick a little bit bigger by having spray paint and stuff in it. You know, one of the things that people are always looking at when they're not magicians is they're looking at space and movement. But when you've been a magician for a little while, you're always looking at time. You know, and every time when there's just discussion or jokes or things going on, we've got a little ticker in our heads going, what could you do during that amount of time? What could you do during that conversation? We're always thinking that. We get little stopwatches going of what we'd be able to do in that amount of time. This is also about time. But even with all that considered and all watching you do that and all the moves looking all clean, it seems almost impossible. It seems like one single person couldn't possibly do a trick like that. We think we have some idea how you did it. And all of my talking here, did I give you a little bit of a hint of what we think there? And do you think we might be right on that?
I think you've got me.
And it's an amazing trick, and you killed us. You just killed us. Beautiful.
So I'm guessing nobody's going to fill me in, but you know what they're talking about. Thank you for entertaining us, Reza!
Great trick, Reza. Great trick, man.
Thank you.
So good.
Up next, 2 magicians who together are the strong and silent type. Penn and Teller perform after this. Penn and Teller have been performing as a duo for 4 decades. Tonight, all that changes when they officially add not 1, not 2, but 500 other people to their act. Here to close our show, Penn and Teller and our entire studio audience.
You know, Allison, you've known us for a few years now. You know that we're rather patriotic fellas. And we go to any sort of big event and they start with a national anthem. It's always so stirring and patriotic and wonderful. And we think it's wonderful, but just not enough. We think there should be more than a national anthem. We think there should be a national magic trick so that everybody can get into that feeling too. So we have one we've suggested, okay? So we're gonna try it first with you. We've given you a little red hanky, okay? And the words are on the prompter. You just follow along with us and see if it works, okay? So it goes like this. Say it with me, Allison. Look, my hand is empty. Beautiful. Look. A little red hanky. Now watch this. Watch closely. Just follow us. Just like that.
Okay.
Not closely enough. It's gone. Beautiful. But a little whiffle dust. You can hop if you want. And it's back. Thank you. So imagine. Oh, thank you. Now we've given everyone in the audience little red hankies. Y'all got them? Y'all set? Now imagine you're Yankee Stadium right after the Star-Spangled Banner. Penn and Teller come out to lead the audience in this. You all set? Let's all rise for the national magic trick. Look at that. Looks nice, doesn't it? Look, my hand is empty. Look, a little red hanky. Watch closely. Not closely enough. It's gone. But a little wiffle dust and it's back. Thank you. Play ball!